Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. A couple of weeks ago, I did a video entitled, Why Do Many Natural Black Women Date White Men? And it was a short video, it was about 5 minutes long. And in response to that video, I received over 200 comments, and the video received over 4,000 views, which is good for my small channel. That's a good view count and good comment count. And the comments were really engaging. They were very interesting, and it created a great dialogue. And I just wanted to extend that dialogue in this video right now. So in response to my question, I received a couple of comments, and I'm going to highlight some of the standout comments, some of the common themes that were throughout the comment section. And one of the themes was this. A lot of people said that a natural hairstyle is not an expression of pride. Some saw it as just an expression of self-confidence. They said it has nothing to do with black pride. Some said that it was just another hairstyle. And they made similar types of comments along those lines. And upon reflection, I think that that is probably true, that a lot of women and men wear hairstyles simply because it's fashionable. They don't wear the hairstyles because they have pride in their African heritage necessarily. Some people do it for convenience. Some people do it to make some kind of fashion statement. And it's really a superficial expression. So it doesn't necessarily reflect some kind of pride or some kind of nationalism or some kind of respect for African heritage or anything like that. It's just another hairstyle. And that's obvious when you think about the way some people with these hairstyles behave. You know, as I said before, I saw a contradiction between someone wearing a natural hairstyle and then that same person actually dating outside of their race. But if you see it as just another hairstyle, then of course it makes sense that someone that happens to have a natural hairstyle could still be in an interracial relationship because it's just a hairstyle as far as they're concerned. And the reverse is true. You have women who wear weaves or have their hair permed, but they have pride. They have knowledge of their history. So the superficial expression in their hairstyles is not really determinative of their politics. So I get that. So I understand that point. And that's a valid point. Because there are many conscious people who don't necessarily have a natural or don't necessarily have an afro or locks or any of those kind of hairstyles. So I get that. But I think that ultimately, you know, a good expression of black pride and self-respect is to have a natural hairstyle. And I don't knock women that don't. You know, I love black women, whether they have weaves or whether they have naturals or perms. I'm just saying that a natural hairstyle is an expression of self-respect if it's genuine. You know, some people, as I said before, it's not a genuine sign of self-respect, but it should be. We should have respect for our natural features. We should not try to emulate someone else. We should not try to emulate the people who basically oppressed us and who continue to oppress us. So that's the first issue, the issue about whether or not natural hair is an expression of black pride or not. And then the second issue is this. A lot of people said that white men pursue them. They're not the pursuers. And they also went on to say that white men appreciate a black woman's beauty more than black men. They said a lot of white men appreciate a woman with natural hair. They appreciate dark-skinned women more than black men do. And when I heard that, I was really disturbed, you know, that that there's actually that kind of sentiment out there, that people actually believe this. And it may be true for some white men. Some white men may be attracted to African features. And, I don't doubt that at all. But just the idea that black men aren't attracted to their own black woman, um, I just find that to be sad, depressing, that you really have black men like that. And unfortunately, that's true because we can see it all around us. We hear it in the music. We hear these rap artists sing about light-skinned women, disrespect dark-skinned women. We see the entertainers and celebrities who are married to white women or very light women. So that idea that many black men are attracted to lighter women is reinforced by the images that we see. So I don't doubt that that's the case for a lot of men. You have men here on YouTube who openly brag about preferring lighter women, who openly denigrate and disrespect and dog dark-skinned women. And it's really sad. It is really sad that the very person that taught black people to hate themselves, the very man that put self-hatred into our hearts, is the one that these black women says loves black women more than black men do. We always have to remember the source of this self-hatred that we have in our hearts. When our ancestors were in the motherland in Africa, they didn't hate their black skin. They didn't hate their natural hair. They didn't hate their lips and their noses and their features. They didn't hate their women. They loved themselves and they loved their people. Somebody else taught black people to hate themselves. Somebody taught us that we were savages. The white man taught us that we were savages. The white man taught us to hate our features. He taught us to hate our dark skin, to hate our wide noses and our full lips, to hate our kinky hair. The white man taught us that. He taught us that when he gave us stories like Little Black Sambo, when he gave us the menstrual images that we see. So he taught us to hate ourselves. He taught us to hate ourselves when they blotted out the accomplishments of black people from history, and they only celebrated the accomplishments of white people. And it is this man that black people, black women are turning to as a savior, the very man that taught all of us to hate ourselves, including the black man to hate his own black woman. I find that truly disturbing. So I'll go on to a couple of other points that were raised. Many people said that interracial dating does not mean that somebody does not have pride. They said that someone can date interracially, but they can still maintain their black pride and their black self-respect. And I just want to share my thoughts about that. I think that, in an ideal situation where someone just happens to fall in love with someone, that may be a different story. It's possible that that person may still have black pride and black respect. They may just have met someone that they are compatible with, that they are in love with, and more power to them. But often what has happened is this. Many of us have been programmed to hate ourselves and to idolize white people. So for that reason, you have many black men pursuing white women. For that reason, now you have black women pursuing white men. deliberately pursuing white men. So this is not a question of someone just falling in love with someone that's of good character, someone with a great personality, someone that is compatible. It's a lot deeper than that. It's deeper than that when you put out books about so-called swirling. Just that concept alone emphasizes race more so than just good character, more so than just compatibility. Why would you even talk about the concept of swirling if race is not a central factor? Why would you even put out a book that teaches black women how to be more attractive or more appealing to white men if it's really all about character? If it's really all about personality? And there are many other books that are along those similar lines that teach black women how to be more attractive and more appealing to white men. That's not a question of someone just falling in love with another person. That's a deliberate effort to pursue someone who is white or someone who is outside of your race. So that's a separate matter from someone actually just happening to fall in love with someone. Those are two different situations. And more often than not, it's the other situation where people have been programmed to idolize white people. And that's the real reason why they pursue white people, why they pursue white men and white women. And, I just want to conclude on this note, as someone else pointed out in the comment section, despite all this debate that is going on about this interracial relationship issue, the fact of the matter is the majority of African American men and women marry one another, are in relationships with one another. They're not involved in interracial relationships. And I just want to be clear. My position is not like out of hatred. It's more out of love. Love for my people, love for black women, love for us. I want to see us prosper as a community, as a people. And I'll make a couple of more points before I go, and that's this. In the comment section to my video, I noticed that there were a couple of white men who were using this comment section as an opportunity to hit on black women. And one of them went on to ask a black woman if she lived in Baltimore, and then he went on to give her advice about how to be more appealing to white men. And this basically made me want to puke when I was reading these comments. It really disgusted me. But I went to check out this guy to find out just where his head was at. And I don't know for sure if he's white, but he's posing as a white person. But I went to his Google Plus page, and I see the first comment on his page is a racist comment. And this is what he says. He says, "These are typical niggers. They need to go back to Africa. They're not evolved enough to be in our society." And this is a comment that he made on another video. So this is a white guy who's hitting on black women. Supposedly, this is a white guy. This white guy is so attracted to black women, so in the comment section trying to give black women advice. This same white guy is calling black people niggers. See, some of these people, as was mentioned in my comment section, some of them just have a fetish for dark-skinned women, natural women. It's not really about some genuine love or appreciation for black beauty. So that's something that the sisters need to bear in mind when they start, quote unquote, swirling. Then I will just conclude on this note. There are quite a few strong black women in the comment sections that were basically saluting the black man, showing respect for the black man. And I just want to say that I respect that. I commend that. I wish we had more sisters. And I know that there are plenty of black sisters that support the black men